Good afternoon. Fade to Black breaking news for this Monday, May 12th, 2025. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. All right, here we go. Kicking off a brand new week here on Fade to Black, and it's a great week. Next week is amazing too. Tonight, Dr. Scott Taylor joins us. We're going to be talking about the shared death experience. Tomorrow night, Patricia Corey's back with us. We're going to be talking about parallel universes, AI, and a bunch of other tech stuff. Wednesday night, Patricia Eltinge is with us. We're going to be talking about dreams. And then Thursday night, Deep Prasad is back with us, quantum computing and his search for UFOs. Some call it UAPs. Now, I do have three major events coming up. Later on this month is Contact in the Desert, May 29th through June 2nd, right here in Palm Springs, California. Then I go to Peru. I've got a very busy month next month. I head to Peru with Brian Forrester for the Inca celebration of the sun. And I turn around and come back from that for the PSI Games, the Psychic Olympics, August 1st through the 3rd, 2025 in Charlottesville, Virginia. All right. Now, I've got a little bit of a public service announcement for everybody. Let me tell you about what happened this weekend. On Saturday morning, I was texting with someone over in England about some future events, and it was a lot of stuff, and we're going back, and my messages weren't sending. The links that were being sent to me in the text I couldn't click on, couldn't open. The text was just a bizarre thing. And then I couldn't log on to the internet, and I kept resetting my phone and powering on and off. Very frustrating. And I just decided to go to Verizon. I have a iPhone, had an iPhone 15 Pro Max. So I head over to Verizon and I end up getting the new, which is here. This is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I get it all set up, blah, 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 drop $1,000, by the way, and get the phone, come back, and they give me like an iPad. It was thrown in on the deal. So I've got that too as well. I come back and thinking everything is fine. Come back, same problems on my phone. And it was also, which I actually noticed with the iPad, trying to get that set up. And I was like, what is going on? So if it's the iPad, and I checked so anyway, check this out. It turned out to be a firmware update on my router. That's right. I did that, which I had to do with the iPhone. That's a whole nother thing, updating the apps. Everything was fixed. It turned out to be the firmware on my router and not my cell phone. And I had my old iPhone 15 with me. I was transferring data. It's working fine. But I got stuck with this, the new 16. Signed the contracts. I was done. And the fun, that's it. Yeah. And you know what? I just kind of looked at it like this. I could have been upset. This is the PSA announcement. First off, always check your router. Check that firmware update. There's that part. The second part is, do I get upset? And I had to stop and think, what if it was the phone? And I came back and everything was fixed, and that was it. That's what I set out to do, right? Turns out to be a router. Do I get upset? No. My phone still got fixed. Don't get upset. It's in the past. Move forward. And it was just so fun. I was just like, oh, man. But I kept it in check. All right, so there it is. There's my PSA. Before you freak out, check your router. Check that firmware update. All right, let's get to it. On this day in history, 1896, New York City passes the nation's first anti-spitting law. And by 1910, more than 2,500 arrests are made. Here's your Fader fact. In Arizona, you can't feed garbage to pigs without getting a permit. There you go. That's for Renee. Breaking news. Let's get to it. That failed Soviet spacecraft, Cosmos 482, has finally returned to Earth after 53 years in orbit. It disappeared into the Indian Ocean early Saturday morning. Nobody was injured. That thing returned intact, by the way. All right. India has issued executive orders to Twitter, it's now called X, but who cares, asking them to block over 8,000 accounts across the country. The targets, Twitter explains, it's now called X, but who cares? The targets include accounts belonging to international news organizations and prominent X, it's Twitter, prominent X users. X, it's now called X, but who cares, is telling those target account holders to legally challenge the blocks. But those accounts have now been shut down by Twitter. It's now called X, but who cares? Months after touting AI's potential to replace human work, Klarna CEO Sebastian Siemiatkowski is backtracking and is reversing an AI-induced hiring freeze to bring on more human staff. The Klarna CEO said last week that they are hiring human workers again to ensure that customers always have a human presence to talk to. In February 2024, the company claimed AI could do the work of 700 customer service agents and had taken on 75% of the customers' consumer chats, or about 2.3 million conversations. That's actually great news, isn't it? The James Webb Space Telescope has observed glowing auroras on Jupiter. Scientists pointed the JWST at Jupiter on December 25th, 2023. That's right, on Christmas, and captured auroras at the gas giant's North Pole. Particles ejected from volcanoes on Jupiter's moon Io create the auroras, and they glow hundreds of times brighter than here on Earth. Now, the Christmas tree images are amazing, and they also showed faint rings around Jupiter for the first time. You got to love the JWST. The newly opened Burger Bots in California, Silicon Valley, has robot line cooks that can crank out hamburgers in under 30 seconds without sleep, bathroom breaks, or hair in your food. Yeah. They have two robot androids working together inside a special burger making cell to cook and create with superhuman precision and speed. That's right. You get your perfect burger in 27 seconds. Sam Altman, CEO of ChatGPT maker OpenAI, warned at a Senate hearing last Thursday that requiring government approval to release powerful artificial intelligence software would be, quote, disastrous for the United States' lead in the technology. Now, it was a striking reversal after his comments at a Senate hearing just 2 years ago when he listed creating a new agency to license the technology as his, quote, number one recommendation for making sure AI was safe. In other news, but it's AI, Pope Leo XIV laid out his vision on Saturday and adding that artificial intelligence is one of the most critical matters facing humanity. There you go. Google will pay the state of Texas $1.375 billion to resolve two privacy lawsuits, claiming the tech giant tracks Texans' personal location and maintains their facial recognition data, both without their consent. Google announced the settlement on Friday, ending years-long battles with the Texas Attorney General over the state's strict laws on user data. Wow. 1.3 billion. Google. Who cares? And finally, I'll leave you with this. I've got lots of Google and AI news today. And now Mexico is suing Google for ignoring repeated requests not to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. The Gulf of America. I can't even take this whole thing serious. But anyway, for U.S. users on its Maps service. The announcement came from Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, but she did not say where the lawsuit had been filed. Are you confused? Yeah, so am I. Because last Thursday, the U.S. House of Representatives voted to officially rename the Gulf for federal agencies. So then Sheinbaum wrote a letter and she said, we're suing. She also wrote another letter to Google back in January, asking them to reconsider its decision to rename the Gulf of Mexico for U.S. users. In February, she again threatened legal action. Google says they're going to do whatever they want to do. Literally, that was their response, adding, quote, the Gulf would not be changed for people using the app in Mexico and around the world. Instead, they'll see, are you ready? Quote, Gulf of Mexico, parentheses, Gulf of Americana. Gulf of Americana. That's actually better. Gulf of America, parentheses, end quote. Seriously, do you care? I don't. All right, let's move on. That's all the Fade to Black breaking news that you need for this Monday, May 12th, 2025. Breaking news is produced by Renee Neumann. I am Jimmy Church. I do want to remind everybody, we're kicking off another week here on Fade to Black. And tonight, Dr. Scott Taylor is with us. We're going to be talking about SDEs, shared death experiences. That's right, not NDEs, but shared death experiences. All of that and much more tonight on Fade to Black. But for now, all I've got is Go Back Lee Tappy.